Hello everybody, so EDS Awareness Month is drawn to a close for another year, so it's the final week in May, and in this video I have got family members and a friend talking about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and how it's affected me and the family and friendship. So everybody please sit back and watch this video and take notice. This video has had a lot of preparation, so please everybody just watch this video and enjoy.
Hello, I'm Lavinia and I'm here today to help Chloe, my daughter, make awareness of her condition, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. May is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome awareness month, and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is also known as EDS. It is a rare genetic connective tissue disorder. Forgive me for reading off my notes. As you can imagine, such a lot has happened over the years and I'm unable to express it all at this time. There are different types of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and people are affected to varying degrees. From a mother's point of view, I watch Chloe on a daily basis suffer with this chronic condition. She is so strong and won't let it beat her. She is a true inspiration, and I have had this said to me many times. Not only does Chloe have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, she is also on the autistic spectrum, which can also prove to be challenging for her at times. But she does so very well with everything and continues to make me so very proud of her. It all, when I look back, started from birth, as she was never particularly well as a child, but not everything was linked together. She had many infections, joint pains, and this was often put down to growing pains until it couldn't be anymore. She finally got diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome at the age of 13 years, although she crosses over into various types. She suffers dislocations, her stomach is affected, slowly becoming paralysed. She has a feeding tube into her stomach for which she vents to help the nausea and vomiting. There's an extension into her bowel for which she feeds into and has her various medications via this. Last year her bladder went into failure for when she has had to have a permanent catheter for the rest of her life, an SPC. She is also deaf in her left ear due to the bones moving around. Her jaw dislocates and is so very painful for her and for me as a mother to watch as she goes through the pain of it being relocated. Thanks be to God, we are so lucky we have so many amazing doctors, as I know this isn't always the case for some people. Her hands are affected a lot and her mobility, for which she is in a wheelchair now. She suffers daily pain and fatigue. She has low blood pressure and syncope fainting. More recently we have found out that she has a prolapsed bowel and needs another hand surgery. There's always something going on. It's always ongoing, but she takes it all on and is such an inspiration. She also has had many surgeries which may help but don't always. She knows that when she has them, as there is no cure to the day for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. She's also had a lot of physio over the years and is on a lot of medications like I previously mentioned. She has gone through so much and has just turned 21. I've seen EDS take away her teenage years. Chloe has a great positive attitude though, and in turn makes me positive. Also, she has a great Catholic faith, as do I. We have good support from our priests and Bishop, for which I am so thankful for. Of course, there are good days, worse days and bad days. We make the most of our good days.
Hi, I'm Charlotte, a very good friend of Chloe's. We've known each other for 10 years, maybe longer. I first met Chloe through social media as I also suffer with EDS. Luckily mine is very mild, occasional operation, but nothing major like Chloe goes through. Chloe really does have it bad, and it affects her quite a lot with her daily life as well. It's very hard for Chloe to go out and see her friends because she's in a wheelchair and she's classed as high risk. Her family really are amazing. I've not met them. I hope to one day. Hi Chloe. Hi Chloe's mummy. No matter how many hospital visits, appointments, operations she has to have, they're there every step of the way. They are really, really a close family. I couldn't ask for a better friend than Chloe. She really is inspirational. Honestly, Chloe, as I say to you, you know I'm here whenever you need me, no matter what you need to talk about. You helped me so much through my operations. So yeah, Chloe, thank you for being there for me. You really are a true friend. Also, when all this is over, I'll be coming up to see you.
Hi, this is a short video with regards to EDS Awareness Month. My name is Peter and I am Chloe Fairhall's uncle, and with next to me is Jill, her auntie, and then Karen, our cousin, is sitting on the floor, but she'll introduce herself shortly. So this is really the things that Chloe's went through over a lot of the past years since she was a young girl. So we'll just hand you over to Jill.
So I just want to start off by saying that when Chloe was little, she was double jointed and we thought it was a gift. She had been doing this, however this was the start of Chloe's EDS. In Chloe's younger years at primary school it didn't seem to be many signs of EDS, but as Chloe grew older her joints were becoming more dislocated, and this was the start of many more dislocations to come. This has been a long journey for Chloe and has been in and out of hospital getting lots of surgery done on her hands, fingers, jaw, face and other parts of her body. This has affected Chloe within her schoolwork, and Chloe was not able to sit her exams due to this. This was a great disappointment for Chloe, as Chloe wanted to sit her exams as she was always wanting to become a doctor. As Chloe has grew up with EDS, she has become more aware of the disability she has and got the most amazing doctors who she now classes as friends. Chloe has a strong heart and is a fighter within this. She has braved many surgeries in her life and is now on a feeding tube to help her eat, and the EDS is affecting her internal organs. Within this, Chloe has now become a Catholic and is very strong within her religion. She attends Mass every week, and Chloe believes that her religion has made her get through these struggling times, but she knows that her prayers are always answered. Chloe has just turned 21 in April and is still gets on with her life, making people happy by sharing YouTube videos and trying to get on with her life as someone without EDS. She never fails to succeed, and this is the woman Chloe is of today. She's strong, she's a fighter and has a loving heart.
Even though that Chloe's went through a lot of issues with herself in the past, and like a lot of problems health wise, she always smiles and she never lets anything down. She always looks at other people.
She doesn't care what other people, she doesn't care what other people have to say about her.
And like one of the conditions that Chloe's sometimes in a wheelchair,
When people give us stares,
Yeah.
that's just awful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always stick up for her.
And when we have experience with Chloe where we've actually went out for a meal once, was it? And
hand
was it a hand dislocated? And obviously because we're not used to that, we were frightened and didn't know what to do, and she had to end up going to hospital because by the time she went home and her dad tried to get the dislocation back in the place and it didn't work, so then I had to end up going to hospital. But Chloe was totally relaxed about it and just brushed it off her shoulder. She wasn't that concerned, even though she might have been inside, she didn't show it on the outside. So Karen, do you want to say about what happens when you go out?
Like when me and Chloe go out, Chloe just acts like a normal person. She doesn't act like she's actually in a wheelchair.
Does she at the gay pride day
When we went to gay pride, it was just a normal day. It was fun. Chloe was dancing. We were having loads of fun. And yeah, it was just a normal day for Chloe.
I think that now because she's getting older and the internal organs, there's things happening that people don't see, so maybe just see Chloe that there's a few problems like with regards to like the outside of the body, but then they don't know what's going on the inside. But I just don't know how she copes because I couldn't do it. Okay, so is there anything else, Joe?
No, that's it, thank you.
Right, okay, so
Oh, when they said about the charity, this woman said that because Chloe likes her Build-A-Bears, but and this woman said that was this charity, and I stood up for Chloe saying it wasn't, and that Chloe likes her Build-A-Bears. It's got nothing to do with her if it is on like.
so she deals very well with being sort of like bullied when she's out and
Yeah.
all that, and sort of like people looking down on her, insulted and stuff. I think.
And Chloe just doesn't care though. Like that's what I like about Chloe. She just
unique and
just yeah.
Totally a fighter.
Yeah, fighter.
So, yeah, totally. So
never gives up.
hopefully this has been some sort of insight about how us as like auntie and uncles and cousins sort of like don't know with regards to like how Chloe is as a person and the effects of EDS on that particular person.
But I don't think people realise how much she actually goes through, and people just think, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not as serious, but it actually is serious. Living with that 24/7 on a feeding tube, I don't think people actually realise until it's them.
That's right, and then she's on a catheter, female catheter,
Yeah.
which is a 21-year-old. Okay, so hopefully this video will just provide some information to
and make people more aware.
Make people more aware of the illnesses that
She actually goes through.
it's terrible. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Chloe's Auntie Janet. I'd like to share with you a bit about a life before she was diagnosed with EDS and up to the present day if I can. She was energetic as a young child. She used to like to go to the park a lot, in the fair, and she'd like the swings as well. She'd make things, she liked to do things with her hands a lot. She liked to make sandcastles at the beach as well. I don't know if you can see, but she used to sit like that a lot. And her elbows on there when she's at the fair there. She was from a young age, she suffered from ear infections, perforated eardrum. She went on to lose a lot of hearing in her left ear, possibly because they think now the ear bones had dislocated. She had UTI, recurrent UTIs and awful kidney infections, and she suffered from a lot of pain. She sat at school with a broken arm for a full afternoon because she was used to pain that bad. When she went to secondary school, she became captain of the rugby team.
and she was doing great, but she had to give it up because of the illness. It was starting to ravage her body life, and then she had a lot of dislocations. I think the school was scared, and I think a lot of doctors are as well. They did find out she was hypermobile when she broke her arm. She went to a sixth form, but around about this time she was waking up with dislocations and that as well. And she had said to me once, Auntie Janet, sometimes I'm scared to go to sleep at night because I don't know what's going to be out in the morning. And it broke my heart just a little bit, as it does every time I say I get noticeably worse. She had real problems with her stomach and eating, choking, couldn't swallow very well. She couldn't maintain her weight. She had nausea. She's had seizures, fainting spells. She gets palpitations. Something that's still being investigated because it's a complex illness and there's a lot of layers to it, and also a lot of different types of it. She still hasn't been diagnosed with a type of it. We know it's genetic, and we know that she shows signs of a lot of the types of it. She had to have an NG tube in which I discovered her air was really floppy and very small. They went on to give her a peg, and it ended up having to be turned into a peg J with a extension, and it went into her bowel. And some days she has to vent. She has venting bags, and some days she had this load of acid that has built up, and she has to get rid of it. Because her stomach is essentially paralysed. She's got gastroparesis. It is also now travelled up esophagus. The muscles in her throat don't work. That's why she chokes. At some point soon, she's probably not going to be able to eat at all. She'll definitely have to limit her food intake to certain foods. But at the minute, she's embracing it and trying new foods from different parts of the country where she still can. She does have a lot of pain, and nothing really worked for her until she had the fentanyl patch. Morphine makes her tired, and it doesn't last long. Her jaw has become a major problem recently. She doesn't have to do anything for any of her joints to come out, which is a common misconception. But she's had arch bars. She ended up having to have a jaw like wired, like kind of thing, to get it to with arch bars with bands on to stop it from, to hold it in place for a bit, and then that didn't work. She had blood injected into her jaw to strengthen it, didn't work. She had to have bones taken out of her, a little bit of bone taken out of her jaw, and found should have worked for 80% of people, but I don't think that 80% of people had EDS, because now it's worse. It does it easier. Dislocates easier, but at least she doesn't have to have a general anaesthetic, as she hasn't had recently. They've managed to get it back into place, but it's had to have a lot of force on it. The hits just keep on coming. It's not a good time for her. Her bladder has become affected. It's in full failure. She used to self-catheterize for a while, but she struggled with her hands because her hands are affected terribly. She's having fix on top of fix now. She's got a wonderful plastic surgeon who does all he can to help, but even he's not a magician, you know. There isn't... At one point her shoulder was out all the time. It just wouldn't stay in. But it's... I mean, it's hard for her. I know she can't self-propel with a wheelchair, but she'll hopefully get some of her independence back when she gets that power chair. A lot of things are happening, and it's really hard to watch it happening to her. But she's got a really strong face. She's one of the strongest, as though her body's weak, she's one of the strongest people I know, and she will achieve her goals. It's just will take her a little bit longer, and she might have to adapt to do it. But she's very determined, and I'm very proud of her. And she's a true EDS warrior.
So everybody, I just want to say a big thank you to all who have taken part in this video. My Uncle Peter, Auntie Jill, my cousin Karen, my mum and my Auntie Janet, and my good friend Charlotte. A big thank you to all those who have taken part in this video. And everybody, thank you for watching this video. Please share, like and subscribe. This month has drawn to a close. Thank you for everybody who has shared and made awareness of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I will continue fighting, and I'm going to stay brave and stay strong despite all what is happening. Everybody, please do pray for me, and I will pray for you. God bless. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.